Hi everybody, my name's Sian Catley. I'm a Widening Participation Manager here, so I work for the Widening Participation and Outreach team here at Cardiff University. It's probably worth saying at the beginning, because I've heard a few conversations going about it, and I think we just mentioned it briefly, that there is a university-wide transition project going on at some point. I don't know how far it is. It's through the Success for All committee. I don't know where it is from part of the university, but I know a few people have mentioned it. You probably already know where it's at.
It's very, very, I keep saying, we're just kicking this off. We're just kicking it off about 6 months now. No, we're just forming a working group aiming to make some recommendations for improving transition for 25-26.
Yeah.
So next step, I think you will get first.
Thank you. Because when we're talking about widening participation, it's always a bit tricky because our team's called widening participation, but we very much work pre-university. We're not all the way through university, and that's sometimes a bit tricky to kind of explain to people. So the young people we work with are those that we feel are underrepresented in higher education, and we're trying to improve that. So we aim to reduce barriers into higher education for those who don't traditionally go. Our role is basically to promote equality, diversity, inclusion by supporting students from specific groups to access and prepare for university. And we feel we recognise that the benefits that a diverse and talented student community can bring, and we want our university to reflect that. Is what our kind of goals are. A bit of who we work with. So we work with a huge variety of various people. I keep wanting to say young people, but we don't. We work with mature learners as well. So individual experiences, we work with care experience and adopted. We work with sanctuary seekers, so refugees and asylum seekers. Area characteristics, so we talked about polar. We also work with the lowest 2 quintiles of the Welsh Index of Multiple Deprivation. A lot of our projects are more Welsh focused because we want to bring them on campus, and obviously if they're local, it's easier to get them to come sort of more locally. Then individual characteristics, like I said, we do work with mature learners. Disability, at the moment we've only got a project with someone for autism, but I'm going to go on and talk about that project. Black, Asian and minority ethnic groups. And then we work with also different family characteristics, so caring responsibilities, those estranged from their family, low-income households, parents not educated to higher education level, and then school characteristics, so we use Welsh and English sixth form data, and particular free school meals is a high indicator of the young people that we work with as well. That's a lot of groups. We do lots and lots of different projects. So my actual role, I work with what we call our priority groups, used to be called vulnerable groups, which is a bit of a sticky title for it. But my team run projects for care experience, including adopted and estranged students. We work with young adult carers, autistic and mature learners, and military experience, which I've just realised isn't on this as well. So military experience is another group that we work with as well. So I'm here today to talk a little bit about what we do. I'm going to show you some of our projects. I can't talk through all of them. And then I have got a few slides on the support that the university actually offers, just because I don't know we've got any from Student Life here, and apologies if we do, and if they want to jump in, they can. I'm just going to kind of go over, because I don't know who's external and internal, because not everybody might know what we already have. But then in particular, the support then is for some of the more focused groups. So Together at Cardiff, some of you might have heard of, who particularly work with care experience carers, asylum seekers. I'll go on through all that information as well. So hopefully it'll just give you a good idea of what we do. So Step Up is one of our big flagship programmes. It's a 2-year project, and it starts with those in year 12. They have weekly masterclasses that are offered by PhD students here, so they get a flavour of the different courses that we run, but also they come onto campus to see what a university is all about. They're having lectures and seminars from academics, so they get to learn at a different level as well. They're working with kids from across South East Wales, mainly Cardiff, obviously, to get there so often. But it's building that network and working with others as well. We also then obviously invite them to sort of more tailored events that we perhaps do around accessing and coming to university. As part of Step Up, we also run a residential summer school. So in July we have a few residential summer schools, and this is a bit more of an immersive experience for them to come onto campus. We go up to university halls. They live in our halls. Not the best advertisement for university halls, I'm not going to lie. We have done Taliban before, but it's just trickier to move them around, because it's a good campus up there to keep everybody together. As well as academic, we often get them to a research project, so then they have to present posters at the end about their research project, but also they get to see the social side of university, the socialising, societies. We take them down the bay, we get them sometimes to cook for themselves. So it's hopefully quite an immersive experience for them to understand what it's like to come to university. the eligibility for that project. So it has closed at the moment, so if you have only young people, I'm afraid it will be next year now. And we had really good applications this year. We've also upped our numbers, so I think we're going to be working for almost 200 people this year. So the numbers have gone really high. So we aim to work with those that live in areas of socioeconomic deprivation, first in family, asylum seekers, young people with autism, estranged students, experienced women in care, and obviously those with caring responsibilities as well. I'm going to show you a little video. Hopefully this works. How do I do it with the mouse? There we go. This is Ikram.
I'm Ikram Hirsi, I'm 17 years old. I live in the poorer part of Cardiff, Norfolk, and I catch 2 buses to go up to Whitchurch. I study biology, chemistry, physics and maths, and I hope to get into medicine. Step Up is an opportunity for people who are the first in their entire family to attend university. It is difficult to be this generation. We don't have someone to talk to. We don't have someone that understands what kind of struggles you might go through. Parents are very supportive, but they don't understand the mindset of the youth. And it's hard to have parents with language barriers, and without Step Up, I would be very lost at this stage. From January to May, there were master classes where you had to attend the Cardiff Uni buildings, and they would do lectures for the streams you want to attend. I went into the healthcare, and for me it was eye-opening. I got to meet students who gave you an insight of the course, the academic requirements, what else you need to do to help yourself. Now we're here at the summer school. It was more what a life as a student would be like, and today we got to experience a real academic side because I wanted to do medicine. What we did was the case-based learning, which Cardiff is really renowned for, and when I went to see it, it really showed me how much more I wanted to do with medicine, and I don't think I'd be able to experience that without Step Up, to be honest. My parents are the most supportive, especially my mother. I believe she's a very smart woman. She is the person that really says there's nothing that can really stop you from your dreams. From exactly year 6, I was adamant that I was going to be a doctor one way or another, and I still am like that. If it takes me 10 years, if it takes me 5 years.
So that's Ikram, who is now a doctor. It did take a bit longer than 5 years, but she did get there in the end. What's really interesting about that video is actually her talking about the support from her parents, which is lovely, but actually quite rare in some of the young people we work with. So unfortunately, a lot of them come with not having that support or not having a parent that really understands, and quite often put them off going to university because of the cost and various reasons. So often we're the people that need to kind of speak about that. And our student ambassador, I'm going to go on to talk about the involvement of our student ambassadors as well. So Discovery is one of the projects that sits under my team. So it's for autistic young people, aged 14 plus, and our project we split into 2, a kind of pre and a post-16. So our younger ones, we tend to do more around sort of subject focus, so they're thinking about those kind of courses, and our older ones are more that kind of prepping for university. They don't have to have a diagnosis, and they can stay with us for as long as they want. So we've had them on for 6-7 years before, because it's just getting that confidence then to go on to university. And we do get them coming into Cardiff University or elsewhere, and that's absolutely fine. So it's a way for them to explore university in a safe environment, so they get to meet new people. Often the social anxiety with our autistic students is quite high. It's very participant-led on what their concerns are about coming to university, what do they want to explore. So we very much want it to be useful for them. So obviously we work with them a lot, and we work a lot with their parents as well. So I tend to, alongside the project, run a bit of a kind of social side with the parents. So they often talk together about accessing DSA, concerns and worries about coming to university. So hopefully that supports the parents as well. Again, we've got a residential summer school for them that we tend to go over age 16. Lots of fun. Again, it's that social anxiety that we're trying to drive out, is that actually coming to university, living and working with people they've never met before. We do a really fun budgeting session, and they go off and shop together. They have to cook together, hopefully clean up after each other. Doesn't always happen. Holly might want to say a little thing there, because you've worked on one of them before, haven't you, Holly? It's ideal that you turned up today. One of our student ambassadors. Go on, you want to
It's
say
a really
anything?
valuable experience. I was a student ambassador, as Sean said, and myself and a more experienced student ambassador led a group of autistic young people, and the cooking, as you identified, was a highlight. Everyone went together. One member was particularly interested in mango, so he had a big thing of mango, and everyone else, they collaborated together, but there was one who wanted to do everything, and that was absolutely fine as well. By the end of it, they really came out of their shell, and it was really rewarding to see this development. And I believe that they felt a lot more confident in what university might look like.
Lovely. Thank you, Helen. Sorry for picking on you. It's really nice because Sally and Catherine were here obviously earlier, and a lot of the things their charity is doing about those life skills, and that's what we're hoping to do. But obviously we're only there for 3 days. There's only so much we can teach them. But a lot is around that social, that finding their tribe, finding the people that you connect with, and that's really important as part of our project as well. Just going to do a little bit of selling as well. There's still spaces on the Discovery Project starting start of February. This is the summer school though, just to show you a bit of it.
The Discovery Summer School is a chance for autistic young people to come and experience university life.
It's quite an inclusive programme because it's for autistic people, and we get to do all sorts of activities like a campus tour, shopping, like learning new skills such as budgeting and travel.
The main idea is to support and facilitate relations between people and make sure people feel inspired and confident to come to university.
It's hoping to break down those barriers and encourage people that university is actually for everyone.
Discover what being a university student is like, giving them the opportunity to explore their independence in a safe environment.
I now know how to cook a 5-course meal in a dorm room with 4 other people trying to cook alongside me. It's chaos, but it's fun chaos.
I knew that everyone here was going to be in especially like the same boat, so I knew I was going to be comfortable, and it just seems interesting.
My favourite part of the Discovery Summer School is seeing the participants explore their comfort zone a little bit and try something new in a safe environment to see if they can see themselves at university.
Students should sign up for Discovery because, and I'm quoting the students in my group, they didn't know how to cook. Discovery allowed them to do that and explore that. Some of them didn't know how to interact with peers or live with flatmates, how a flatmates would be like. So I think students should really sign up for it because coming here in a safe environment will allow them to explore that without the anxiety of it.
Anyone can come and join a wonderful community at university and get involved with some amazing things. Don't let your background or who you are define your aspirations.
Open it. There we go. So just wanted to make a note of all the people that were talking there in the red tops are our student ambassadors, and as I just picked on Holly, and I know Anna has just joined our student ambassador scheme as well, which is wonderful. Our students are invaluable to these projects because they are closer in age. We try also to work a lot with our student ambassadors who have lived experience, so as part of Discovery we've got a few that are neurodivergent that will be working on the project with us as well, and we hope that's got a bit of a twofold with the transition as well, in that they've got a community to come and work with as well, because a lot of our student ambassadors get quite close because they end up doing residentials together, and so there's a community that's kind of built around that kind of experience as well. Obviously they're paid as well, which is really, really important, so we're hoping with the student ambassador scheme it's kind of got a bit of a double-edged sword in it. They're helping us hugely, but also that they're getting a lot out of it as well. Confident Futures is quite new, so unfortunately Confident Futures died a death during the pandemic. That was working with care experienced young people at the time. So we've had to kind of relaunch that, and under the umbrella of Confident Futures we now work with care experienced, estranged, adopted, and we've also put young adult carers under there, not because they have the same barriers, because they don't, but more about the confident futures that we're trying to give them that confidence of one, that they've got the aspiration to come to university, but also showing them how they can do that. So at the moment we're working for more 14 plus. We're doing tailored projects and talks, and we'll go out to schools to give talks, we'll go out to community groups, we're working with Bernardo's charity, working with the Carers Trust, but also then bringing them on site to do campus visits so they get to experience the university. We're also doing a big new piece of work for us, which is training the people that work around those young people as well, those trusted people, so a social worker, a foster carer, because the trust is probably more them with us than us, who they don't know. They're coming in being talked at by people that they don't know, so it's really important that we make sure the people around them are fully knowledgeable about higher education, UCAS application, personal statement writing. So we've done a lot of training around that as well, in the hope that they can then support those young people coming through. Future plans, we're hoping for another residential coming up because we know they work. So we'll probably split the groups with that, but we'll do probably residential, and we're hoping to put in a webinar series as well around that kind of application writing as well. Other projects, we have lots of other stuff going on. So we've got Pathways to Engineering, Pathways to Law, which obviously are dedicated to those courses. The Sutton Trust Summer School, which is focused on medicine and dentistry. We have Aspire, which is for sanctuary seekers. So we do an open day and a summer school there where they learn English language programme, do the English language skills as well. We're just starting to do a bit more work around military experienced events. We do the mature learner induction. The one thing we found, so I'm going to talk about some of the support that a lot of the groups we work with get, is I think an issue sometimes with our mature learners is there's no dedicated contact when they come into university. So it's often relied on academics that are quite passionate about that area to do an induction and see that stuff through, which we're trying to support, but likewise is our remit is pre-university. So once they're in, we're trying to make sure that they're then supported going into the university. So we have done a few sort of social things this year, but we're hoping that's something perhaps the Students' Union can take over, so that those mature learners aren't feeling lost when they come into the university as well. Parent Power as well, we work with the Brilliant Club, that's out in Grangetown, again to support those parents to feel empowered to support their young people into university. If anybody ever wants to ask me about any of the projects, please do, because there's a lot going on at the moment. Like I said, I'm not going to go too much into this because a lot of internal staff anyway, but about the support they can obviously access at university, all students can. But then in particular, I wanted to go into a bit more detail Together at Cardiff in case people weren't aware of it. Together at Cardiff is an initiative that's been, well, it's been up for ages, but it's been the last few years that Lena, who's the dedicated contact, has really shaped what it is. So these groups get one-to-one dedicated support through Together at Cardiff, and the reason it's all under that is so that they don't have to repeat their story every time they come into contact with someone. So they're not like, oh, I'm care experienced, oh, I'm a asylum seeker. They can just say, I'm under Together at Cardiff, and they can get this support. So they get support on open day. They can meet dedicated contact and have a one-to-one with Lena on open days. All of those will be UCAS flags, so as soon as they've ticked that box, Lena will know who they are and can get in touch with them as well if they're not coming together. They're all contextual admissions, so obviously they'll have the grade drop. They all get an additional bursary of £1,000 per year, which they can obviously then spend on whatever they want, but it might to do with education, it might to be for living expenses as well. And they also get that transition support because they've got that dedicated contact as they come in. Like I said, Lena Smith is that dedicated contact. She can basically be there for them to ask any questions. So support with applying for student finance and funding, any alternative grants and bursaries that they're trying to get access to. Obviously support with any academic related issues, and she can liaise on their behalf with the academic school as well, if they don't feel that they could go to their personal tutor or someone there. Assist with housing issues. She can also signpost obviously to all the other student support that we talked about, disability service, health and wellbeing. She also does additional events, so like coffee mornings with these groups as well. And again, so it's not you just sitting down with young carers, you're sitting down there. It's a big community and they can all kind of support without having to know people's background every time you see them. There's a little bit more tailored support as well that Lena's managed to put in place. So for carers with library services, a bit of extra support with library extensions. We know for our young carers they're often time poor, they can't always get to the library. They can have a nominated person that can go on their behalf to the library. And there's some reciprocal borrowing schemes as well between other university libraries, which is great if they live further away from Cardiff. And obviously care experience can access 360 days a year accommodation. So those young people that don't have anywhere to go back to during the holidays. Unfortunately, often they do have to move flats, which I don't think is ideal, but I think that's just up against something with the university and placing people. And obviously the university can be a guarantor for those young people if they're going into private accommodation as well, if they haven't got parents or people who will be their guarantor. So it's just so people know there is that support within the university. When Teresa emailed me, she sort of said, what do our students come in worrying about or thinking about? So it's such a variety with the groups we work with because it is such a varied group. Finance is always top of the list, of course it is. Can I afford it? So often with any of the groups that we do work around accessing tuition fees, what other bursaries you can apply for, budgeting and things like that, to hopefully kind of support that a little bit more. Huge bit around belonging, you know, will I make friends and fit in, which you guys talked about as well. It's huge for a lot of the young people that we work with and mature learners, that will I find my tribe, will I feel comfortable staying at university. A lot we see as well is uni for someone like me. quite a lot of the people we work with don't have the aspirations to come to university. Part of my team's job is to tell them, yes, you can, and this is how you do it, this is the support in place. And then what to do if I'm struggling academically, who do I speak to? It's that signposting, which is a lot of what we have to do, is make sure that they know how to access the support when they come into university. Any questions?